Welcome to a brand new episode of Girl, Geek, and a Gay, the show that wakes up and thinks I could really use a nap right now.
That's
I'm
me
Jose.
every day.
Yes.
Yes. Stop.
And with me is the beautiful Jaime.
Hi.
And the lovely Stephanie.
Hello.
Hi. So, I watched a video the other day on Gotham Knights, the video game. It doesn't look like a fun game, but the story is interesting, right? And it has one of my favorite Batman villains, which is the Court of Owls. And the Court of Owls is this secret organization that just is in the shadows, and they secretly run everything that's going on in Gotham. So it got me thinking, like, what secret organizations are there in the real world that people believe are running everything from the shadows?
Yeah.
Right? And I came up with a few because there's all sorts of conspiracy theories, right?
Yeah. And we're not saying we believe these. We're just saying that that this is what we've heard of. You know, and some people believe them, some people don't. You know, so yeah.
I feel like what's really happening in the world is just more believable
Yeah.
than these secret organizations. So we could start with one of the famous ones, like the Illuminati.
Yeah.
You know, the real ones, not the Marvel ones.
Dang.
But Illuminati means enlightened and commonly refers to the Bavarian society founded in 1776. But they only operated for about a decade before everything was just disbanded. So their goal was to infiltrate the monarchy and quote unquote enlighten them. It was pretty much to spread awareness for a more enlightened way of thinking and kind of lean more towards sciences and arts rather than what's going on in the world, which is religion at that time.
Yeah.
They kind of modeled their structure after the Freemasons, which is another big one. Freemasons was just too much. I really didn't want to dive too deep in that.
It sounds like because that one has gone on for like a really long time.
Well, yeah,
no?
there's so many people that were Freemasons that were leaders of the world. Like George Washington, I'm pretty sure was a Freemason. Just all sorts of leaders, world leaders.
Yeah.
But they had weird rituals. They adopted symbols like the owl. They had pseudonyms to avoid detection and had complicated hierarchies like novice, mineral, and illuminated Minerval that divided the ranks.
That was like the titles that they had? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they didn't trust anyone over 30 because they thought that anyone over 30 was just too old to change their set ways.
Oh.
And
And this is the Illuminati you're talking
yeah,
about.
this is
Okay.
all the Illuminati.
Okay.
So most of the rituals are too difficult to confirm also because of how secretive they are. But they promoted the worldview that reflected enlightened ideas like rational thought and self-rule. They were anti-clerical and anti-royal, which they seem to be more revolutionary, you know, in their way of thinking. But because of their idea to enlighten the world, they were mostly seen as the ones trying to control it. Even though, like, self-rule, you know, being one of their goals, kind of makes you think, oh, what's if you're advocating for self-rule, where's the control there, right?
Yeah, like more freedom in a sense.
Yeah. So in 1785, the Duke of Bavaria banned secret societies and instituted serious punishments for anyone who joined them. Most of the group's secrets were disclosed and published, and the group disappeared. Now, when it comes to conspiracy theories, physicist John Robinson in 1797 accused the Illuminati of infiltrating the Freemasons, and Abbe Borel promoted the theory that they helped influence the French Revolution. And seems to be a common one. Like, people think that these governments influence wars, and it's I don't know. You know, it makes sense.
Like to this day, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
And even now, because there are other ones that are like, well, this war was started for X reason, right? And there has been proof of that. For instance, when we went into Iran, with the weapons of mass destruction, Iraq.
Yeah, he's the guy.
With George Bush was like, there's weapons of mass destruction. Truth is, they just wanted the oil, right?
Right.
So these things happen, but sometimes it seems that people grab onto a nugget of truth and just expand on it.
Yeah. This is they say this about like Illuminati, like they talk about that in like I think Beyonce, right? Is supposedly
Yes.
supposed
And Jay-Z.
and Jay-Z, yeah. Like no, I'm sorry. I think you hit me. How do you feel it? Yeah, and wasn't there like at the like a Super Bowl performance or some sport? I don't remember which one it was. Like, didn't J Lo do like a performance and people were? Isn't she part of the Illuminati too, or is it a different secret society? No,
I didn't hear about J-Lo.
Oh no. Well, part of the reason why I'm bringing her up is because she did because of that performance. Where there was
the Super Bowl.
Yeah, she did do the Super Bowl with Shakira, and there was a lot of supposedly secret like meaning in what she was, like doing. Like there was kids like tied up or in orbs at a certain point, but people were not only like they weren't seeing it as her like standing up against like kids in cages, but more of like she wants kids to be held captive, like, and it became like this whole, like, there was this girl I was following on Instagram who was a friend of a friend. And she got really down like that rabbit hole of like J-Lo is trying to like kidnap your kids and all this stuff, based on her Super Bowl performance. And it had to do with like a whole secret society that J-Lo was part of supposedly as well.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've never heard that
No?
that part. I've
Yeah.
only heard that she was like
Crazy.
not just crazy, but she was. It was around that time when the kids were in those encampments, and it looked like they were in cages.
Yeah.
So they were like trying to bring more awareness to that. That's
Yes.
what I got out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Logical.
You didn't look deep enough.
I didn't. I guess.
Apparently, no, but what logic would say, hey, it's political, in a lot of senses, which is you do your art and it could be political, right? But then it became this on the other side, it became this thing about how like it even gets down to the point where people start saying like they're drinking the blood of kids, for themselves. Yeah, like it's
Because of the blood of youth or something.
Yeah, exactly. It really that girl was posting all these crazy things
If
about
that were true, though, why are there so many kids? Like,
Yeah.
you would think orphanages are a little more empty, right?
Do we still have orphanages?
Yeah.
Like a lot of them? I
assume
don't really
so.
know that much about it. But I'm just, well, and I will say though, there a lot of kids do go missing like daily, regularly in the United States alone, yearly. Like there's a lot of stuff
the
happens
Democrats.
to kids. Well, and that's what I'm saying. That it goes back to the secret society things because that's what even an acquaintance that I speak to, it's like this thing that
Good job distancing yourself from these people.
Oh, trust me, I know.
Yeah, friend of a friend and an acquaintance.
Because but the friend of a friend, I deleted and blocked her. I'm like, girl, I don't need you to spread all these lies about J-Lo. I don't even care about J-Lo like that. But when it just started becoming this like whole thing about like she's now like you see the pose that she's doing at the top of the pole or whatever. I don't remember where she was on, but they were trying to imply that it had something to do with like even satanic stuff and things like that. It got so crazy. It really got great. And I don't mean to blow your mind about that, but people really dove into this on a whole, like they started comparing it to, Shakira at one point comes out with like a rope tied around her hands, right? Again,
Yeah, she did.
representing
What?
representing some type of political issue that she's like was standing up against.
Right.
And then they started saying though like that represented like same thing, her being in agreement with like trying to capture kids and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my god, people. But it's been said about like Beyonce's performances and Jay-Z's performances and all these things too, where like they're part of a secret society that's
Well, yeah, because they always do that symbol.
do they?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know they do that. Did they do that really? Oh, crazy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what does it mean?
I have no idea. Apparently, it's the Illuminati symbol.
Oh.
Triangle.
Yeah.
Oh, the pyramid.
Oh, okay. But do they say what they're representing? Like in a sense, like is it a bad thing or like is it a good thing or is it just they do the symbol?
Honestly, I don't really follow them.
Yeah.
She's like,
much.
yes.
I just remember seeing it before. I've even heard, like, going off topic of the Illuminati, that they're lizards.
Oh yeah, I was thinking.
Or she's a demon.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen like close-ups where her face changes?
Uh-huh.
I was just like,
And this is Beyonce.
this is Beyonce.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because there's like, if you look at some of her videos, her face just forms,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm like, it couldn't have been like it's live when it happened.
Oh,
And you're
okay.
just like, did I just see that? Like,
Yeah.
what just happened there?
I think about those, like, sometimes when you're scrolling through a video and like the video glitches out,
Right.
That's what I think about, like, in certain situations like that. And then I try to figure out, like, okay, if there are lizard people, right? Because in Doctor Who they talk about lizard people, which I think are pretty cool. I just think about it, like, okay, what is it? What is the ultimate goal then, right? Of like this lizard people society.
Global warming.
This is why the world is warming.
That makes sense, actually.
Yeah. They're lizard people.
My point exactly.
If they get cold, they go into hibernation.
Now you're getting it.
Got it. They go frozen. Yeah.
Well, they had this blah blah. They had this trilogy of books called the Illuminatus, and this plot to this seems fucking nuts, and I want this movie because reading is for losers. But it follows two New York City detectives looking into bombing of a leftist magazine called Confrontation, and looking into it, they discover the magazine was looking into the assassination of JFK, Robert Kennedy, MLK, and the involvement of secret societies. The book also tells of an evil scheme by an American medical association to bring about mass human sacrifice to release enough life energy to give eternal life to a select group of initiates, including Hitler.
What you call me? No, I'm just joking.
They're trying to awaken a hibernating Nazi battalion from the bottom of a nearby fictitious lake. Like, I'm in.
It sounds like a good sci-fi story for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Nazis have been on the moon according to movies as well.
Yeah, Nazis are on the moon.
Yeah, according to stories and to movies, and yeah. Yeah, I just it's always kind of like a stretch, right? Like with everything that can be explained by things that we can't explain, which is why we always talk about this too. Yeah.
Yeah, well, when we don't have answers, we make up our own.
Yeah.
That's the way it works, right?
Yeah. I want to know. I want to know why, if people are alive, right? Like, okay, so you can even think of it in a sense like secret societies could even be related to like people, like celebrity people who have decided to cover up their deaths or whatnot, and are living secretly somewhere else, right? For example, Tupac, Jenny Rivera apparently has been said to
Elvis.
Elvis
There's still sightings of Elvis.
Yeah, these people supposedly live. They're still living their lives, but why can't? No, I'm not saying don't keep the faith. I guess I don't know what to say about that. Like, why can't they just be dead? Like, why? Like, just be in their peace. I guess
because
at this point. And then what is the point of them living this whole underground? And I don't doubt that some people have gone and like faked their deaths and lived a whole different life. But why does it have to be almost every celebrity in a sense, that does that?
People have a hard time letting go.
Yeah, that's true.
And they get to a point where they see these celebrities like Michael Jackson as bigger than life.
Yeah.
Right? And there are reports that you see Michael... There was this whole video where supposedly you see Michael Jackson jumping out of the van that took his body.
Oh.
Like, you see him jumping out and like covering his face and everything. So it's just all of these... It's a hard time letting go of these people that you've put on such a high pedestal.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, we'll go back to Michael Jackson. All of these accusations, nobody wanted to believe him, right?
Yeah.
And same with R. Kelly. And people are just like, nah, he makes good music.
Because of the celebrity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So moving on to the Bilderberg group. Have you guys heard of the Bilderberg?
Bilderberg group?
Bilderberg.
Oh, Bilderberg.
Bilderberg.
Oh, okay, got you.
So, the Bilderbergs are another real life court of owls.
Bilderbears?
That is just a lot easier.
It sounds like you're saying Bilderbears.
The Bilderbergs.
Okay, Bilderbergs.
I will enunciate.
Bilderbergs. Okay.
It's a meeting. This meeting is off records, and it's meant to foster dialogue between Europe and North America. They're invite only, and once you're in, like, everything in there is just so secretive. So again, you don't know what's going on. You just create your own answers, right? It's okay. You're scared.
I thought that was Jose.
Got a little excited there. The group's original agenda is to prevent world war. In their minds, if you talk about something, you're less likely to fight about it. Which makes sense.
Yeah. These secret societies sound really nice.
Well, that's what they want you to think.
As opposed to real society.
There are about 120 to 150 attendees, ranging from political leaders, experts, captains of industry, finance, academia, and the likes. The reason for the privacy, though, well, at least according to them, according to the man, is to encourage candid debate while maintaining privacy. Because I get it. You know, sometimes you want to talk about something, but you're like, I can't say this because of how it'll be perceived in the public, right?
Right.
So it makes sense. But of course, this has just fed all of these conspiracy theories.
What is like one of the craziest like conspiracies that's come out from that though?
It's just that they're in control of the world economy.
Oh.
They're in control of any war that happens or any agenda that they want to pass on.
Yeah.
They elect the leaders of the countries. You know, all of that. While some on the left believe the purpose of the group is to impose capitalist domination, and some on the right believe the group is conspiring to impose world governments and planned economy. That's
Yeah.
yeah. So in 2005, one of the chairmen of the steering committee, which are the ones who organize the attendees, and the two members of approximately 18 nations, Etienne Davignon, discussed accusations that said it is unavoidable and it doesn't matter. There will always be people who believe in conspiracies, but things happen in a much more incoherent fashion. When people say this is a secret government of the world, I say, if we were a secret government of the world, we should be bloody ashamed of ourselves. Which, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, we see where the world's at.
Yeah.
If there's a secret government, they're not doing a good
Yeah.
job.
Well, and that's what I'm saying about like again what we do see, you know, in regular society in general, you know, as opposed to secret society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all it took was 10 years. Like, this started in 1964, and 10 years later, there were all these conspiracy theories just because of how secretive it looks.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds like work.
Yeah, yeah. 10 years to start creating the ideas that the Republican Party was secretly controlled by elitist intellectuals dominated by members of the Bilderberg Group, whose international policies would pave way for world communism.
Wow.
And in 2010, Fidel Castro wrote an article in the Cuban Communist Party newspaper, which he cited a 2006 book by Daniel Estulin, The Secret of the Bilderberg
Almost.
Club, where, as quoted by Castro, the sinister cliques and the Bilderberg lobbyists are manipulating the public to install a world government that knows no borders and is not accountable to anyone but itself. I spelled out Norders.
You're trying to figure out what you wrote.
Yeah, I was like, the hell is that? I know Norders isn't a word.
Wow.
There's the Rothschilds. You guys heard of the Rothschilds?
No.
The Rothschilds are a banking family, and they have been around since the 1760s.
I think I've heard of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're just this ultra rich family. And
Are they
again,
vampires?
probably.
Yeah.
Most likely. They're always
It's
rich.
likely. It's a Jewish family from Frankfurt that rose to prominence in the 1760s when Mayor Amschel Rothschild established his banking business. Rothschild managed to expand, becoming the international banking family through his 5 sons. The family was elevated to noble rank. So many of them are supporters of Zionism, which is the movement of establishing a homeland for the Jewish people. And wait, what did I write here? There's more to this sentence, apparently. Homeland for the Jewish people centered in the area roughly corresponding to what is known as Jewish tradition as the land of Israel. Now, you might be wondering, but Jose, what can a banking family have anything to do with world domination?
Totally. Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah. Well, they have money.
Well, yeah, by controlling the world wealth and encouraging or discouraging wars between nations. Yeah. Niall Ferguson wrote, without wars, 19th century states would have little need to issue bonds. As we have seen, however, wars tended to hit the price of existing bonds by increasing the risk that a debtor state would fail to meet its interest payments in the events of defeat and losses of territory. So, yeah, like
Yeah.
if we allow this war, this state won't be able to pay their debts or stuff like that.
You know, this gets me thinking too. Like, if you think about like more like smaller type of secret societies, if you can think of it in that sense, like almost like
Fraternities.
or like, well, yeah, or gangs, or you know, like mobs and stuff. Oh my god, maybe not a route we should be going down. but you know, you think about like even you know fraternities or even you know just some monks like you know the mall. Like they have a whole different like, maybe they know things that other people don't know, and it just becomes like this such exaggerated thing. Like even in like we were talking about Starbucks earlier, right? Like and I bring this up because it's funny that people think that there's a secret menu in the back, right? Like it's just like a book you open and it's a bunch of recipes in there that don't. Right. It's not a thing like that, Like it cracks me up that that's such a small little thing. Like Starbucks has a secret menu can become such a large thing on a whole different scale. Like it becomes that idea that there's this secret somewhere, and they can control this in this sense, as opposed to the way that. Yeah, like people are doing it, at the end of the day. So, yeah.
So last but not least, the Bohemian Grove, which I had never heard of this one.
Yeah.
But the Bohemian Grove has a lot of presidents, actors, titans of industry as part of their club. And again, it's a very exclusive club. And back in 2000, Alex Jones, who is just conspiracy theory extraordinaire.
Yeah.
He snuck in and he videoed one of the rituals they have that is one of the rituals they do, which is called the burning of the something that I wrote down here in terrible order. The cremation of care is what it's called.
The cremation of care?
Yeah. Okay. So here they all get together in robes because of course they're very fraying, and there's a big owl statue that they have.
Okay.
I think it was 12 meters. I'm not going to do the math. But it's a 12-meter statue. And they put a human effigy on there, right? And they burn it. And it's supposed to represent their problems and all of like their worries, all this stuff, right?
A human effigy. What is that? What's an effigy?
Like a scarecrow.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, but Alex Jones claims that it wasn't an effigy, that it was an actual human child.
Oh God.
Because,
oh God.
That's what you do. But every year, like a few thousand of their members get together, and they're up in Northern California, in what's called the Bohemian Grove. But they're also very sexist, so it's all men. They will not hire women, and they have gone to court over this multiple times because they refuse to hire women. Their reasoning to not hire women is because there's a lot of drinking involved, right? And the large part, if not all, of their members are very old men.
Okay.
That don't have the best prostate, so constantly going to the bathroom. So they're like, if there are women here, these men can't just pee out in the woods.
Oh.
That's their logic.
That's their logic. That's
their logic.
That's what they defend.
And that's how they've won the court arguments they've been in. The court cases they've been in.
Oh. So women were suing to try to get into this group as well?
Yeah. Or to get hired by the club. By the Grove. By this resort type thing.
Oh.
The owl also has a pre-recording of Walter Cronkite's voice that just talks.
The owl itself?
Yeah.
Like a speaker inside of it?
Yeah.
Oh. And what does it say?
I don't know.
That is kind of
creepy. It's very creepy.
It's giving me like that Silent Hill vibe.
Yeah.
So Ronald Reagan, Nixon, George H.W. Bush, Clint Eastwood, Walter Cronkite, they've all been part of the group. And the group is extremely secretive, but their motto is weaving spiders come not here, which is meant to prevent like deals from happening there because they're supposed to be, it's a getaway. You're not here to make all these deals. But of course, you get that many powerful people.
Yeah.
For instance, the Manhattan Project was said to have been developed in
one of these meetings. What's the Manhattan Project?
The Manhattan Project is a project that brought about the atom bombs. Yeah.
Wow.
The security of the club can best be described as a small army. Wow. They have all these automatic weapons. They have night visions. They are set.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course, whenever you have presidents there, you have the Secret Service as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like these things are too
Nefarious.
Well, nefarious, but also like not too far from like reality. You know, it seems like yeah, you know, like it seems likely, especially with things like with with people with money and power and stuff like that.
At some point, I guess they get bored.
What?
I said, I guess they get bored.
Yeah, they just want to like hang out. I don't know. You know, there's also like we watched Love, Death, Robots or whatever, and they had the whole there was like divisions between like the nerds and how they created or like the tech companies and how they created their own like little secret society where they thought they were going to be able to like save the world themselves in one of the episodes of that robot. And it relates in a sense of like not everybody has like not specific people of a certain group have that resolution, but I'm sure there's that sense of creating a group amongst the people that are very similar in a lot of thoughts, where like one of the things that and I'll go back to this because we were talking about this a little bit earlier too was the acquaintance that I was telling you about, like specifically talked about like they believe in vampires but not necessarily vampires in the sense of like there are actual vampires, but more if it's like a secret society that's drinking people's blood, children's blood, to be able to stay youthful. And there was this lady talking about it on Twitter. And I'm like, wow, she looks very like youthful herself. Like, so is she part of this like society?
I'm thinking like, okay, because everybody's just like, oh, all these Democrats are drinking the blood of kids to stay youthful. I'm like, have y'all seen Nancy Pelosi?
Yeah, you're so mean, but yeah, right, you're right. They're older, but at the same time, like, there's other people that you can look at, especially the people that are like pointing the finger. That I'm like, you seem to know a lot about this. That's pretty interesting, and. I know that there's a lot of craziness. Like there's a lot of people that do things that are very weird, different, right? And I'm sure there's situations that people have come across in almost in every type of scenario that you can think of, But when it becomes all about just a specific group, about like, let's say we mentioned Democrats and Republicans, right? Now Democrats are the ones that are like out trying to get children and hunt people. It becomes just like, why is it just that? Like why isn't it that they're not just trying to do good in a sense, but more of like they're doing good to then be the ultimate bad,
Everybody expects an M. Night Shyamalan. Just a twist.
Some crazy twist. Yeah, some crazy twist. You hear a lot of like, certain people are going to come back to life or not come back to life, but are secretly hiding and are alive this whole time too. Like I mentioned, Tupac, the Kennedys, like you hear a lot about that, and it's like, okay, why? That's my question. I don't doubt that certain groups of people meet up, and because they have money, because they want to exclude people for various different reasons. I don't doubt that there is that type
if I had money, I wouldn't want to hang around the port either.
We wouldn't be doing this show. Well, I was just no, but I mean, it's just it just becomes like
I can see him buffering in
real time. It's like trying to figure out. It's like, what's the point? Like what's the point? And what can we do about
the
it?
signal dropped.
Yeah.
It was like trying to like.
Yeah. It's connecting. It's the Wi-Fi dropped for a second. I'm part of it.
So you heard it here. Jaime is a robot.
I'm a robot. Yes, it's been discovered. Not a lizard person, but a robot. Yes,
not a lizard person.
Yeah.
So although he is quite cold-blooded,
I'm not. I'm really nice. Sometimes.
Yeah. So while it is fun to imagine the world is run by a secret organization of rich old people as opposed to that very public organization of rich old people. None of it can be proven, right?
Right.
Everyone's just speculating. And they don't require secret meetings to run the world.
Yeah.
Because,
They do it publicly too. So, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's funny though is if you look at the capital of the United States, like from above, the floor plans, like the not the floor plans, the whole property, it looks like it's in the shape of an owl.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's even things in the dollar bills, right? That people show.
Yeah, because if you fold the $20 bill in a specific way, you could see the Twin Towers.
Yeah.
Burning.
Yeah.
Or in the Pentagon.
Isn't there like that little pyramid with the eye in it? Like has something to do with it too.
Yeah, because People say it's Illuminati,
Yeah.
but it's very Freemasony. Also, what's it called? The saying on it, Novus Ordo Seclorum. It's like new world order, I think. And
It just stuck around from those times. It seems like, yeah.
So the floor plans for the White House, like all of that view from above,
Yeah.
it was also created 2 years after the establishment of the Bohemian Club.
Oh,
So of course people are just like,
that's
look.
it. It's the Court of Owls.
Exactly, they're a real thing, man. All right,
sure.
I mean,
See, I knew owls were tricky. I don't like owls. Freak me out.
I get it. They're big as hell too.
Yeah, and
They're
then I
fucking
find out that they
huge.
have legs.
Yes, like they wear skirts basically. Like you can lift.
Oh,
them.
yeah. They
They
have
have
like
these
really
long ass legs.
I think owls are so cool looking. But I also think rats are really cool looking. So I think they're
Rats?
cute. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Like rats or mice.
Rats. I think rats are cute. You don't like squirrels either,
I don't
right?
like rodents.
I get it
I think
because
they're cute. I think possums are cute until they're mad.
No, I had one jump on me.
Oh, I'm
See,
sorry.
Squirrels and possums.
Yeah.
And then I had
A possum jumped on you too?
Yes.
Oh, I'm
A
sorry.
rat.
I kind of want the story.
I was sweeping in front of my door. It wasn't here.
Oh, am I here?
No, it wasn't here. It was when I was like in high school.
I'm moving.
I was in high school and I was like sweeping my porch and we had this tree and this fence that was like literally like it could just touch me right there. So I'm just sweeping and all of a sudden I feel something pulling at my hair.
No.
And I'm thinking my hair got caught in
Yeah.
the tree.
Uh,
And then all of a sudden I was like,
I'm getting chills for you.
so I had my broom and I was like,
Oh, no.
what is on me? Then you see the tail.
Oh man,
And then
it's like
you
a horror
see
movie.
this and then I was like,
No.
and then it goes, and I was like, oh my
yeah.
gosh. So I flung it. I'm
Okay.
smacking my broom at it. I was like, why?
I understand. Okay, I understand.
No.
Because if that happened to me, same. Like, I would be the same situation.
And then
Yeah.
with the squirrel,
Uh-huh.
it was at my old apartment complex in Long Beach. And apparently my neighbor downstairs was feeding it.
Oh,
And
gosh.
he went on a business trip apparently. So the squirrel is hungry.
Oh.
And it sees me. And I'm going outside and I'm trying to get down the stairs. And there's no other way for me to get downstairs unless I go to the way top of my apartment
Oh,
and
okay.
go through the exit that way.
Uh-huh.
So it was like, I'm not going that way. This freaking squirrel is blocking my way.
She's like, I could take the squirrel.
And I'm late. I'm already about to be late for work. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this squirrel won't leave me alone. It keeps coming closer. And I was like, what are you doing? And then it jumps on me.
Oh,
climbing up.
no.
So I throw it and I run back in the house and I close the storm door. And I'm just looking, and my brother-in-law is looking at me like, what's your problem? I was like, the squirrel won't leave me alone. Then you see the squirrel trying to eat the screen
Oh,
to get
wow.
in the house.
Wow.
So he's got his pots and pans, and he's swinging, and
Oh my
the
God.
squirrel's just looking at him like this. Literally had to call my boss to come get me.
Wow.
Oh,
Just so I could make it in time for work. I recorded it
Wow.
so they could believe me.
Oh, my God. I'm sorry that happened to you. Yeah, it's like my fear of underwater creatures. There's no logical reason behind it, but it's just as hard. It's a nightmare.
No, like I've said it before. Even if I could swim, everything in the ocean's faster than me. Everything.
Yeah.
I will not enter the ocean.
No.
They're like, Stephanie, you're a Pisces. I'm like, that doesn't mean anything.
Damn right.
I'm like, have you seen?
I knew you were a Pisces. I only said that because. Anyway, no.
Such a Pisces thing to
Such
say.
a Pisces. A Pisces would say they were Pisces.
No, but no, I do get that a lot. They're like, you're a Pisces. You should like the water. I'm like, I like the water. Doesn't mean I like to be in the water. I like looking at it. And just I can't be in the ocean. There's too many creepy things.
Yeah. Oh man, then like you're in the water and you just feel some touch your feet.
Yeah.
Nah. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah. And for the record, I'm a Virgo and he's a Leo. So also,
I don't know what that means.
Also, I mean, Leo would say that shit. Adolfo's a Virgo as well. So just so you know, it means something.
Got nothing, man. All right, so I mean that's our show.
Yes.
You guys have anything else to add?
No, I'm good.
Sweet. Have a week.
Bye.